Good day, everyone, and thanks for joining us as we discuss ISS National Lab Research Announcement, or NLRA, 2023-7, focused on technology advancement and applied research leveraging the ISS National Lab. I'm Patrick O'Neill, Public Affairs and Outreach Lead for the ISS National Laboratory, and I'll be one of your hosts for today's webinar. The purpose of these webinars is to help educate those of you who might be interested in submitting Step 1 concept summaries for ISS National Lab research announcements. Please note, this webinar is being recorded and will be available on the ISS National Lab website. Additionally, at the end of this webinar, there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions. Some of these questions we'll be able to answer in real time, but if we don't get to them all, stay tuned. Responses to all questions submitted during the Q&A session will be posted on the research announcement page as soon as we have them ready. Okay, so let's get into a little background and history of the ISS National Lab. The Center for the Advancement of Science and Space, or CASIS, is the manager of the ISS National Lab and has served as such since 2011 through a cooperative agreement with NASA. In fact, last year NASA extended this cooperative agreement for CASIS to manage the ISS National Lab through 2027. Each year, the ISS National Lab puts forth a variety of research announcements focused on targeted areas, soliciting project concepts from researchers, companies, innovators, and educators alike. ISS National Lab research announcements enable greater access to the ISS, a unique platform in low Earth orbit, bringing scientific value back to people here on Earth, building commerce in space, and inspiring the next generation of researchers and explorers. And with that, I'd like to introduce Munir Alafranji, Commercial Innovation Manager and Technology Lead for the ISS National Lab. Looking forward to you walking us through this research announcement and providing information as well as recommendations for viewers who decide to submit a Step 1 concept summary for consideration. Munir, good afternoon, and again, excited to learn more about this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Today is a very exciting day because, to your point, it gives us a chance to provide some insight into the research announcement focused on technology development and applied research leveraging the ISS National Lab. So let's get into today's presentation and dig a bit deeper. As this is a request for Step 1 concept summaries, I want to highlight the essential elements of what we're looking for with this research announcement and answer some of your questions. During today's meeting, we'll dive into the NLRA process and technology development objectives and look at some existing ISS National Lab research examples. We'll then provide a short overview of facilities on board the ISS that are relevant to technology development research, and then highlight both the process and timeline of this research opportunity, along with some details about the award itself. Then, as Patrick mentioned, we'll have a question and answer session. Let's talk about Research Announcement 2023-7, Technology Advancement and Applied Research Leveraging the ISS National Lab. We're seeking projects in the areas of applied research and development, translational medicine, technology readiness level TRL maturation, and technology demonstration on the ISS. Ideally, these projects will have clear pathways to practical applications that can provide tangible value back to the organization doing the work, and ultimately back to the nation.
Munir, it sounds like you're looking for research that might drive economic benefits, either directly or indirectly.
Absolutely. For example, you might test a product in the space environment that resolves a key technological hurdle, which then allows you to take that product to the marketplace. Or maybe your space-based research enhances and expands the market reach for that product. If you're familiar with technology readiness levels and you speak that language, you should be considering maturation of technology that is currently somewhere around TRL 4 or higher, and looking to raise that TRL. Maturing 3 TRL levels is pretty difficult, but this is just a suggestion and not set in stone. However, if raising TRL levels is the major aim of your proposed research, your Step 1 concept summary should directly address your current TRL and TRL raising goal for your project. Thinking in terms of your proposal, it is a good idea to have a line of sight to commercial application. Think in terms of enabling a commercial offering to an end user after you concluded your work on the ISS. The idea is that this research announcement is very broad. Your research could be something to do with a supercomputer, artificial intelligence, automation, robotics, semiconductors, remote sensing, biofabrication, thin film deposition, exotic optical fibers, or testing new therapeutics. We're excited to see your ideas through this process. Now is a good time to talk about why we conduct research in space. What does space offer? The ISS National Lab provides the opportunity for scientific and technological discoveries under the unique and persistent conditions of spaceflight, which you cannot replicate on Earth. I like to tell researchers that removing the vector of gravity from your research allows you to see your system with a brand new lens of discovery. Let's talk about the primary reasons to do work in space by highlighting the key advantages. The extreme environment, which may be useful for accelerating materials durability testing by exposing materials to the vacuum of space. Extreme temperature variation, radiation, and microparticle impacts. A unique vantage point from which to study our planet, as the station's orbit covers 90% of the world's populated areas, and the ISS crew has the ability to do real-time modification of when and where they record images. And sustained microgravity, which has profound effects on both physical and living systems. Your Step 1 concept summary should very clearly state why you need to conduct your research on the space station. Please take note of this very important point. Before we get into research announcement specifics, I'd like to share a couple of research examples that have successfully utilized the ISS National Lab to advance technology. OrbitFab partnered with the ISS National Lab to launch its first project in 2018, seeking to test technology that supported plans to build gas stations in space, basically an in-orbit propellant supply chain. The video shown here shows NASA astronaut Christina Cook spinning a flex tank during testing for the FURPHY project on board the ISS in 2019. Engineering the company's hardware for in-orbit spacecraft refueling required understanding tank dynamics in space and designing pump systems that would work in microgravity. The result of this ISS investigation successfully showed that OrbitFab's technology could support a wide range of propellants for spacecraft thrusters. Orbital Sidekick is another example I'd like to highlight. Their innovation is hyperspectral imaging platform designed to monitor Earth's solids, liquids, and gases. This effort has the potential to provide a more advanced imaging system than traditional satellites. The platform captures unique chemical fingerprints of targets and has the potential to provide a very detailed understanding of a landscape, which is essential for monitoring underground structures and pipelines. The platform could also inform precision farming and improve resource management, help map out oil spills and detect gas leaks, as well as help in the monitoring of prevention of wildfires. Orbital Sidekick secured $10 million earlier this year to provide monitoring services to the oil and gas industry. We want to help your innovation achieve this kind of success through this current research announcement. With these examples in mind, let's talk about the facilities on board the ISS that can support research awarded through this research opportunity.
Where might applicants find information on hardware and facilities available to support their research goals?
The ISS National Lab offers state-of-the-art hardware and facilities providing a wide range of research equipment and systems, enabling advanced R&D and technology demonstration. I encourage applicants to review the available facilities using the links provided here. You'll also find these links in the research announcement instructions available for download on the 2023-7 Research Announcement webpage. I encourage applicants to reach out to our operations team with any questions about available hardware and facilities. In addition, we ask all applicants to identify an implementation partner they'd like to work with and start a dialogue about project goals. Implementation partners are organizations that have expertise in translating proposed work for the ISS environment. It is important to connect with an implementation partner during Step 1 preparation. I encourage you to visit our implementation partner database and begin engaging in conversations with these organizations early. There's additional information about implementation partners, as well as available hardware on the station, in the solicitation documents. You'll want to get a realistic estimate of what your project might cost, especially if you're new to space. So a conversation with an implementation partner could be a very helpful way to start. Since we're talking about cost, this is the perfect time to discuss funding. Funding for this specific research announcement is $750,000, with the expectation of 2 to 4 awards. You're expected to cover direct costs such as your time, your team's time, your equipment, fabrication costs, and testing that you would do on the ground to prepare for space. As I mentioned, when it comes to doing space-based research on the ISS, it's essential to have an implementation partner to work along your side. The funding set aside for this research announcement is to assist with implementation partner costs. Launch to the ISS, the cost of any crew resources that you may need to perform your experiment, and resources to get your samples or data home to Earth will be completely covered as well. Once we select an award, the time that it takes before your experiment flies to the ISS depends largely on the complexity of what you're trying to do, as well as the availability of supply vehicles. Generally, the period varies from 12 to 18 months, and project completion is expected approximately 3 years from award date.
Thanks for that deep dive on funding, Munir. I'm sure most viewers are now wondering, how does someone even get considered for funding through this research announcement?
The ISS National Lab has a two-step submission process that begins with Step 1 concept summary. The concept summary is a 2 to 3 page short summary of your proposal, which is due April 17th. Take your time and read through all of Step 1 concept summary instructions. During the concept summary review, we conduct a high-level review for operational feasibility and for scientific and technical scope. And we also do a preliminary compliance review. If you pass that step, we will contact you and invite you to submit a full proposal. It's important to note that there may be advantages to submitting your Step 1 concept summary early. For example, if you don't get selected, you may be notified prior to the deadline, providing you with feedback and an opportunity to digest the feedback, make alterations to your concept summary, and resubmit for another attempt. And if your concept is submitted early and is selected, you'll be notified earlier, giving you more time to start working on the next step, which is a full proposal.
Thanks, Munir. Is it fair to say that what you've covered so far regarding this research announcement is all detailed in the downloadable documents and instructions available on the 2023-7 Research Opportunity webpage listed below?
Yes, everything is there. In fact, there's more details in those documents than what I'm sharing with you now. If you're interested in submitting a Step 1 concept summary, I encourage you to go to the webpage. Look at our resources and download the instruction documents.
Excellent. Is there also information available regarding the evaluation process?
Yes. Details on the evaluation methodology can be found in the Proposal Evaluator Instructions for this research announcement, which is one of the documents contained in the zipped files available for download. As you prepare your Step 1 concept summary for submission to this ISS National Lab research announcement, we recommend you keep in mind a few tips that we hope you find beneficial. Use the available resources. The current opportunity web pages have helpful resources in the sidebar and at the bottom of the pages, so please take a look at all the related links available to you. Connect with an implementation partner early. The scope of work and budget that you receive from your selected implementation partner is critical. Write to the evaluation criteria. The instructions outline the evaluation criteria that will be used to evaluate your concept summary. Address all the evaluation criteria. Proposals that do not address all of the criteria or address them poorly are very likely to receive low evaluation ratings. Lastly, submit a compliant concept. Ensure that your research objectives are within the scope of this specific research announcement. Remember, we're available to answer questions in advance of your Step 1 concept summary submission and during your Step 2 proposal writing, should you be invited to submit one. You can email us with your questions at any time. In fiscal year 2023, we've planned 3 cycles or distinct research opportunity announcements for technology advancement and applied research that leverages the ISS National Lab. This is the second of the 3 cycles. This research announcement went live on February 28th, and Step 1 concept summaries are due by April 17th. Concept summaries that score well will be invited to submit a full proposal, Step 2. Full proposals will be due by July 17th. Take advantage of the online documents and resources, pay close attention to the instructions, and email us should you have any questions. And that's Research Announcement 2023-7. Our team is here to support you. Our website has all of the solicitation documents and instructions, as well as a host of resources to help you submit the best concept summary possible.
Thanks, Munir. To our audience, remember that the goal of ISS National Lab activities is to bring value and impact to the U.S. economy and taxpayers by benefiting life here on Earth. Munir, it's been a pleasure talking with you today.
The pleasure is mine, Patrick. So what's next? Are we ready to answer some questions?
Definitely. In just a minute, we'll be taking questions from you, the webinar attendees. Stay tuned.